Hello everyone and welcome back to some more AEW on TEW2020. We're continuing the road towards Revolution as we are nearly at the end of January. And we begin with our show of Dark as Kana defeats Brandy Lauren. Willpower, the very cleverly named team of Willie Mack and Will Hobbs, defeat the Mini Dudleys. Jake Hager defeats the debuting Jen in Dallas Mantello. Ashley Flair defeats Diamante. Miroslav defeats Leo Lambert. 8 defeats Austin Gunn, 8 of the Dark Order. Killer Kelly defeats Janice White. Marco Stunt defeats Keith Bolton. AJ Mendes defeats Tara Shirk. Mary Dobson defeats Reina Obscura. And Pentagon Jr. defeats Dragon Lee to finish off our show of Dark. As always, we begin our show of Dynamite with a little pre-show thing about the D&D. This time around, they're still on their way to the Kingdom to meet King Silver, and they come across a rather destitute-looking town, and some people that resemble some other minor members of the roster, mostly just other people that would be on Dark, and they say that they've seen better times because they're being heavily taxed by Duke MJF, or Duke Friedman, as well as the other two neighboring duchesses in Duchess Dashwood and Perazzo. So, just a real quick thing, they interact with some more people that look similar to other people who are on Dark, and reference some of the main eventers. The show proper begins with Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara defeating the Motor City Machine Guns. Jericho takes the mic, as other members of the Inner Circle just take the machine guns out of the ring. Jericho says, "Sammy, it's been a while since we last tagged together, you know? You're already doing pretty good for shaking some rust off, don't you think? I think that this is already enough to prove that those idiots with Kurt Angle that we are the best in the goddamn business, the best in the world, the best tag team in the world, because we are the best stable in the world, you know? Kurt, I hope you're ready to lose those titles at Revolution, because Le Champion and the Spanish God are ready to grab those titles from your grubby little hands." So Jericho, Sammy Guevara, they are ready to head out towards defeating Kurt Angle at Revolution, defeating FTR at Revolution. Meanwhile, Hager is training for his fight against Charles Betts. After this, Renee Paquette has a sit-down interview with Kana about her longtime rivalry with Ashley Flair and what Ashley's arrival means to the company. And Kana says, "Ashley's not my opponent at Revolution, is she? No. Hikaru Shida is my opponent. Shida is a tough opponent, and, well, as well, and I look forward to seeing her match against Mayu Iwatani in tonight's main event. I've already talked with the commentary team. They've agreed to let me commentate that match. But know that, while I do have Ashley in the back of my mind, she's of little consequence to me. I do not think she has a chance against me, because she's not as skilled in the ring as me, nor is Hikaru Shida. Plan to wrest that title from Shida's hands and claim it for myself, because I am the Empress of Wrestling." And actually, speaking of that, I did actually forget to put Kana in as a commentator for that match, so let me just go and make that change real quick. Alright, then continuing on, we just see a backstage vignette of the Vision. They're doing some anger management, so I'm thinking for this one, Matt Sydal, he is, it starts off with like a little bit of meditation, but then Lance Archer's like, screw this isn't working out at all. So Matt Sydal's, alright, we'll start a little bit easier, just do some breathing exercises, just breathe in slow, breathe out slow. You know, think of all those things that are making you angry in your mind, and just breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out, and Lance like, this is stupid. And so he storms off. Jake Roberts is like, don't worry, Matt, we'll get to him eventually, but Lance Archer, he still doesn't like the whole not having to murder people thing, or being told not to murder people thing. After this, Nat Murphy, haven't seen him on Dynamite for a while. He defeats Christopher Daniels with a surprise roll-up. Then after the match, Kazarian rushes into the ring. He beats down Nat Murphy. Daniels gets up pretty soon after, beats him down. Nat Murphy manages to get enough of separation to escape from Bad Influence, who have just reformed and turned heel. I don't like Kaz and Daniels' faces. I'm not the biggest fan of SCU, so bringing them back together as Bad Influence, giving them a feud against someone who has a lot of potential in Nat Murphy. It's a good way to build up Nat Murphy as well. Renee is then interviewing Cody, who's now named Cody Rhodes, about Pac's challenge. He says, it's not really Pac's place to make that challenge, don't you think, Renee? I mean, I'm the champion, and Pac's not really done anything in order to earn his shot at this belt, so really, it doesn't matter if he... And then he's interrupted by Pac flying in. He delivers a lariat to Cody. Renee runs off, and Pac just stares down at Cody for a little bit. He picks up the TNT title, the physical title, and he turns to the camera and says that he'll return it when Cody agrees to his challenge. So just stealing the physical belt, you know, that's a good way to get on the radar of a champion. After this, the Private Party defeats Chris Bay and Wardlow. And after the match, Tenille Dashwood's music plays, and the two women of the VIP's Club walk onto the stage. And this is Tenille talking. She says, before we let you go anywhere near us, Godfather, I think you should know something. Wardlow and Chris don't have the authority to give you those rights. Of course, this whole thing is about Godfather wanting to have the Private Party somewhere. That's something for us, something for MJF. We agree as a group. Beating Wardlow and Chris tonight means nothing except for angering us. And then Dion's about to say some things as well when Shotzi Blackheart shows up from behind, and she batters the two of them down while they aren't expecting it. And as they get up, Chris Bay and Wardlow, they're rushing in to help out their bosses. Shotzi runs off as well, managing to escape from the VIP's Club. Brandy Rhodes is then seen backstage talking on the phone with someone, asking if the deal offered to them works. This is, of course, I do have another big signing coming up. Look forward to that. Before she can finish the phone call, however, Ashley Flair comes in from out of nowhere and spears Brandy. Ashley picks up the phone, says that Brandy isn't here at the moment, hangs up. Immediately follow, and then right after she hangs up, Jordan Grace comes in from behind and attacks Ashley. Grace then picks up Brandy, I imagine like a fireman's carry position, and runs off as the Queen's Court come in to, well, their initial plan, well, they succeeded in chasing off Jordan Grace. Shoot, I did this backwards. What was supposed to happen here was... Did I do that? Yeah. Garza was supposed to interfere. What I'm imagining is that this was a DQ finish. Andrew Everett, he's getting ready for the shooting star press. Garza Jr. comes up. He hits him plain sight of the ref. So Everett gets the win, but it's not really a convincing win over Kip Sabian. MJF then defeats Adam Page, and they don't click. Then, MJF sits on top of a turnbuckle with a mic, says, John, I think there's some things that you're underestimating about me. I feel like you think I'm just sort of stuck-up kid that just says they're better than everyone else and has no rights to prove it, huh? Well, you're wrong. I have beaten every star in this company. I've proven that I can topple anyone. And the only reason you haven't picked up a loss yet is because I haven't faced you. I just beat Adam Page, one of the top guys in this company, a former tag team champion, and I will beat more people. There's a reason I won that Battle Royale. There's the reason I have the VIP scope. There's a reason people flock to me. And there's a reason people stay tuned every Wednesday night TNT to watch me. John, your underestimation of me is going to be your downfall. That hubris of a god is going to overthrow a god. Good luck at Revolution, John. You'll need it against me. After this, Kenny Omega's interviewed backstage by Alex Marvez, who's not on screen. And then, he says, just asking like, hey, what's the deal with Coda? And Kenny just says, Coda's been on my mind too much, Alex. Starting everything I do. His mere presence distracts me from beating John at New Year's and then Coda, before Kenny can say any more, just walks into frame. He stares down Kenny, and Kenny just kind of freaks out. He's like, Coda, why are you doing this to me? I'm doing the right thing, I'm going for the gold. I'm going for the championship, and you're going against me. I'm supposed to trust you, so Coda, just tell me that I'm right. Tell me that what I'm doing is correct. And Coda doesn't tell him that he's correct, and he leaves Kenny, and that ends the interview. And in our main event, the first ever women's main event on AEW Dynamite, it's not that good. Hikaru Shida defeats Mayu Iwatani in 23 minutes, as, it's a good match. Guessing it's just... Okay. So, I mean, this isn't going to be a good show, but I'm still very happy with this. It's a 61 rating, and Mayu outscored Shida by 10? Okay. Yeah, the reason, I found out that they had great chemistry, so I wanted to have the main event, so, hey, first ever women's main event, why not? And, we still gained popularity, so I'm happy with that, but overall, a very good show. First ever women's main event on AEW, and I think that's our best women's match to date. So I'll take it. I wish that Shida did a little bit better, but it's still fine. None of our matches really did that good, but none of them really sucked either, so I'll take it. And we're continuing the storytelling towards Revolution in the next week.